Rudy's.
The journey seemed to go on forever. Have fun now, Joseph. But on now, Mary. Grumble rolled his eyes. Joseph had said that 5 times already. Grumble had aching ears, an aching nose, and aching hooves. Finally, they arrived in Bethlehem. Unfortunately, so was everyone else in the land. At least, that's what it felt like. Mary and Joseph were pushed and shoved, trodden on and barged past. It was enough to make even the cheeriest donkey cross. Grumble, however, was not a cheery donkey.
Mega Grumble.
Mary was exhausted. She knew her baby was going to be born soon. They needed to find somewhere to stay as quickly as possible. No way. On your way. There's a room for you. There's a room for you. There's no room for anyone. We're absolutely full. There's a room for you. There's a room for you. There's no room for anyone. We're absolutely full. You can knock at the door, but we can't take it anymore. The ears are packed, and that's a fact. There's no room for you. There's a room for you. There's a room for you. There's no room for anyone. We're absolutely full. There's a room for you. There's a room for you. There's no room for anyone. We're absolutely full. You can bang at the door, but we can't take it anymore. The ears are packed, and that's a fact. There's no room for you. There's a room for you. There's a room for you. There's no room for anyone. We're absolutely full. There's a room for you. There's a room for you. There's no room for anyone. We're absolutely full. However, there was one innkeeper who felt sorry for Mary and Joseph. He had no room to spare, but he suddenly had an idea. They could use his stable. I just have Wi-Fi too. Grumble didn't like the sound of this. Stables were for animals like him. Last thing he wanted was shoes in a nice quiet stable. And as for a crying baby, that sounded like a whole bundle of trouble. He decided to stay outside where he could whinge and moan to himself and be very satisfying.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
That night in the humble little stable in Bethlehem, the Son of God was born, Jesus, our Saviour. Meanwhile, in the hills above Bethlehem, some shepherds watched over their flock of sheep. You might have heard that too. The sheep were being when I missed my naughty dirty dinner. It was bedtime and they really didn't want to go to sleep. Suddenly there was a bright flash in the sky. The shepherds were terrified and fell to the ground, covering their eyes, wondering what was going to happen.
Don't be scared, shepherds. We don't mean harm.
The angel Gabriel said he was God's messenger and had important news for them.
I bring great and great joy.
The King's born tonight. Jesus is the Son of God. We got good news for you. We got good news for you. Baby Jesus born today. You're lying in the hay. Good news, good news, good news. We've got good news for you. We've got good news for you. He has come for everyone. But the shepherds found the whole thing a little bit scary. They desperately wanted to see the newborn king, but they were only humble shepherds.
I'm a abundant nurse. Me too. My hands are shaking. My toes are trembling.
They decided that they wanted to take a gift of the newborn king, but they were only poor shepherds. What could they possibly give him?
We just poor shepherds, we don't have much to bring. What can we give to the special new king? But we will bring him everything we've got. A little lamb, a gift from us to him. We just poor shepherds, we don't have much to bring. What can we give to the bring him everything we've got. A little lamb, a gift from us to him.
The shepherds went down the hillside into Bethlehem in search of their stable. When they found it, the shepherds were nervous all over again.
Will the baby like us? Are we good enough to meet him?
Grumble the donkey was cross that his news had been rudely interrupted. After his long journey, he was tired all over. His ears were tired, his nose was tired, and his feet were tired. He was still a bundle of grumbles.
Who are you?
Okay, let's go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 2 under 3.
Travelling across the desert came 3 people who were far from poor and humble. There's a good chance you've heard of them too. They were very wise kings and had been following a star from the east for a long time.
I know lots of things. I know lots of stuff about lots of stuff. We're very important.
The star the kings were following was very big.
Tinkle, tinkle.
They knew that it would lead them all the way to the special baby, the Son of God. The star had stopped outside the stable. Surely the special baby wouldn't be born in a stable. Suddenly they found themselves full of doubt, and the kings probably, because they are very important and are not used to feeling doubtful. Grumble the donkey scowled at his next set of visitors, could have stopped his snooze.
Please don't disturb my son. Who are you?
We're very important kings.
We are very important kings. We know lots and lots of things. We travel very far, following the star, looking for the name of Jesus. We are very important kings. We know lots and lots of things. We travel very far, following the star, looking for the newborn king. We look to the right, we look to the left, we look very high and low. We look to the right, we look to the left. I think there's still some way to go. We are very important kings. We know lots and lots of things. We travel very far, following the star, looking for the newborn Jesus. We are very important kings. We know lots and lots of things. We travel very far, following the star, looking for the newborn king.
The end. What's a grumpy donkey? He's a bundle of grumbles. Here, reminds me of my camel, Charlie. Shall we not? It's better how to excuse.
The kings looked at each other in confusion.
Because of the baby.
Grumble explained.
Because of the baby. You've got a point where the baby's the noise. That's a whole bundle of forever capital T. And I was here. Wait, did you say baby?
The kings looked at each other in astonishment. It was most unexpected and yet also rather wonderful. Nobody knew quite what to do. Finally, Grumble had enough.
That's it.
They couldn't stand outside all evening. He
idea. The stable was peaceful and parked with a warm glow of love, which came from a tiny little baby snoozing in the manger. In their hearts, they all knew that Jesus was a very special baby. The kings and the shepherds suddenly realised that they had no worry or doubt left in their hearts. The kings left gold, frankincense, and myrrh. The shepherds left the lamb. They all gathered around the manger to greet him, all except for one little donkey. Grumble, do you want to see him? Suddenly, Grumble didn't feel quite so grumpy anymore. What was this strange sensation inside him? He tiptoed over to the manger, feeling shy. He peered inside and then gave his biggest, broadest, donkeyest grin.
Oh, wow.
The baby wasn't a bundle of trouble at all. In fact, he looked like a whole bundle of joy. All his grumbles disappeared. As he looked around, he realised that everyone else felt it too. They felt it in their ears, they felt it in their noses, and they felt it in their hooves. Feet. But most of all, they felt it in their hearts. Everyone in that humble little stable was filled to bursting with wonder, love, and joy. And from that day on, Grumble realised the true power of joyfulness, and he never, ever grumbled again. Well, not that much, anyway.
We wouldn't have heard this beautiful story if it wasn't for our amazing narrator, Rosie! We had to travel to Bethlehem because of a very important man, Caesar, played by Alice. However, we wouldn't be sitting in a stable right now if it wasn't for our once fantastic innkeeper, Harvey! We have two very naughty sheep, Hetty and Olivia. Two people who look after their sheep are shepherds, Dolly and Tilly. A bright flash in the sky is made by our beautiful angels, Misha, Hallie and Molly. newborn kings, and they're very, very important, are three kings, Harley, Rex and Max. But because they're so important, they travelled by our very own silly, glittery camel, Billy May. We wouldn't have made it to the stable if it wasn't for the beautiful, bright star in the sky, Oblivia. And we wouldn't have a baby Jesus if it wasn't for the wonderful Mary and Joseph, Izzy and Freddie. And last but not least, the star of the show, the grumpiest donkey we know, Grumbles, also known as Isaac.